Aw yeah, Rivers here with a new Android media player called the Probox2 EX Plus. This player features a fast AMLogic S812 chipset, Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, fast Ethernet and Wi-Fi, and more, so check out my review on Tech Connect. Alright, let's take a look at the Probox2 EX Plus. It looks a lot like the Probox 2 from last year, but the internals are all new. Now you get an AMLogic S812 system on a chip. This supports gigabit Ethernet, AC Wi-Fi, hardware decoding of H.265 video, which is a 4K video streaming, and Android 5.1.1 Lollipop operating system. This also supports 4K video out at 30 frames per second if you have a 4K TV. Underneath the launcher, this is still actually a close to stock version of Android, so it lets you run thousands and thousands of apps straight out of Google Play. Most things that will work on a tablet should work on here. And that's one of the biggest advantages that this has over something like, say, an Android TV box. A lot of apps aren't even available in the Android TV App Store because they are made for touchscreen devices. What you need is an Air Mouse remote control to navigate and select things the way you would use your fingers on a tablet or phone. And that's why the Plus comes with this Gyro Air Mouse remote control. This mouse allows you to use so many more apps that you couldn't use with a toggle remote control alone. You can even turn it sideways and use it for some light gaming. I'll add a link in the description below this video where you can buy the Plus with the Gyro Mouse included. Now let's take a closer look at some of the other hardware on the Plus. On the back, you've got optical audio out to go out to receiver. You've got HDMI 1.4b, which goes all the way up to 4K at 30 frames a second. You've got 10/100/1000 Ethernet, which is really nice and fast, so that will help you for streaming and downloading things from over the network. And you've got an AV port, which is actually kind of nice to have because you can hook up analog audio using RCA jacks or an older television this way. Over on the side, you've got a few more ports, including a micro SD card slot, which I've tested on cards up to 128 gigabytes with no problem. You've got an OTG port and two USB 2.0 ports. These ports can be used for a lot of things, like the Remote Plus, a USB hub, a keyboard, a mouse, a thumb drive, or a USB hard drive, like this Western Digital 2 terabyte drive, which could be used to store hundreds and hundreds of high-def movies. Next, I want to show you some video playback. 1080p video looks very fluid and smooth with no skips at all. 4K also looks great, but takes a little bit longer to start playing, which is to be expected. The player can handle 4K UHD files well. It can also play the newer standard H.265 files, which is how 4K video will be streamed in the future. Here's some 4K video playing straight off the SD card. If you do run into choppiness issues, try playing the video off a USB drive instead of off the microSD card slot. Video playback also works very well in a popular multimedia app that's used for home theater PCs and organizing movies. I tested it both with some 1080p 60 frames per second footage as well as some 4K at 30 frames per second footage, and both played back nice and smooth with no problems. Now I want to show you another nice feature of this box, and that is actually the networking on here. I'm mirroring my phone screen, which takes a lot of bandwidth, and I'm running on the AC Wi-Fi, and it's running nice and fast, especially considering that my router is pretty far away in the other room here. It's also got nice fast 1000 megabit Ethernet, so you're going to be able to stream faster, transfer files and videos from other computers faster on here as well. And finally we come to the Remote Plus. This is actually my favorite media player remote control. It's got great range, it's very responsive, it uses very little batteries, and you can get it included with the Probox2 EX Plus if you use the link in the video description down below. I've also done a separate review of just the Remote Plus by itself, so click the link here in the video or down below in the video description to see that review. Anyway, I have to say this remote is a must-have for the majority of apps in Google Play. For example, just web browsing will be very hard without an Air Mouse remote like this one. I really like the Plus because it's highly customizable. Here's the stock launcher that comes with it, and you can see you can use it to just toggle around and go to the main apps that you want to use. And you can actually customize the wallpaper, which you can't do on a lot of these players. Now, on top of that, I've installed Nova Launcher on here, which gives it a stock Android look with the Lollipop animations, which I really like. I ran a few benchmarks on the player, and they came out pretty well. First off, we have Geekbench, and that got a total overall score of 1374. Geekbench runs a lot of common tasks like compressing JPEGs and unzipping files, and it tests the floating point performance. This player is nice and fast, and you don't have to wait for things like loading apps or navigating very often. I also ran another benchmark on here using an app called Antutu, and this tests the 3D performance more heavily. Here the Plus scored pretty well with its octa-core GPU in Antutu, getting a score of 35,509. Not too bad. There are one or two features I'd like to see added in a software update. For example, Chromecast support doesn't seem to be working in most Android boxes anymore. I think this is actually something Google is trying to do to move people to Android TV or Chromecast. Also, video screen capture is supposed to be working now on Android 5.1.1, but it's not working yet on here. Let me just close by saying that the Probox2 EX Plus handles nice and fast thanks to the fast AMLogic S812 SoC. The 1 gigabit Ethernet and AC Wi-Fi give it a good fast network speed, and Android Lollipop 5.1.1 is smoother and more stable than ever. What I'll do is I'll add a list of pros and cons in the video description and update it as soon as I install the new software update. Thanks for watching my review of the Probox2 EX Plus. If you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure and hit that subscribe button right below this video, and hit that little gear icon next to it to get a notification when I release a new video. This will give you an advantage when I do my next giveaway, which is coming up soon. Thanks again for watching, and as always, aloha.